Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're going to be taking a first look at a demo of a game which is slated to come out in Q1 of next year. The game is called Never Second in Rome. It is the sequel. I don't know if it's like a true sequel. I don't think the storyline continues, but it is sort of the second game by Alessandro Roberti, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, but Alessandro created a game several years back, which we played on this channel and was very well received, called A Legionary's Life, which was basically a mix. It was kind of like a roguelike, I think. I'm not really super versed in that genre, but basically you were a Roman soldier during the Second Punic Wars, and it would follow your career from Spain to North Africa, and I think then a little bit after the Punic Wars, I think there was some fighting in the Balkans, although I never got that far. And it's a game where you're an individual soldier. You have to, manage your stats, try to gain skill, gain equipment, and become better. And it had a pretty good writing style associated with it, too. It was a very narrative-type game. And it was like a one-man game, so it was a really well-done game, and I'm excited to see what Alessandro has done with Never Second in Rome, which is his next project, like I said, coming out early next year. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what the demo has for us. So you can see we've got different attributes that you need to sort of set your character up with. You've got strength, you've got constitution, endurance, quickness, coordination, and I guess bravery is something that you can't change. So you start with a high value there because, hey, you're a soldier. You have 35 points, I believe, that you can spend here. Yeah, everything starts at 50. Strength influences how much damage you do in combat. Constitution influences how much you can take damage-wise. Endurance influences how long you can fight. Quickness, obviously maybe it'll cause you to get your strike in faster than the other guy. Coordination, maybe it allows you to regain your current situation. Charisma for social skills and things like that. Awareness, how are your instincts, and intellect, how smart are you? What's your problem solving? So I think strength is going to be important. Obviously, you've got, as you level up here. So once you get out of 50 to 60, everything costs 2 per attribute. But strength's going to be important, I think, in order to strike hard and fast. I think endurance, or hard anyway, I think endurance is going to be important to make sure that you can recover when you lose, your balance or whatnot. And then I would say maybe 5 of charisma. Maybe you can be a little bit more charismatic. Maybe a little bit 5 constitution. Be a little bit, and maybe 5 for quickness. So coordination, we're not going to upgrade. We'll leave everything else at base level. And that kind of spells us out here. Meanwhile, you can select up to 2 bonus features from the list above. Versatile, brilliant, sharpshooter, athletic, tireless, ferret, huge, fearless, astute, iron-willed, swordmaster, charmer, eagle-eye, bulwark, and talented. Now, some of these have minimum requirements. So swordmaster needs 70 coordination, 64 awareness. We don't meet those requirements. Astute requires 57 awareness, charisma, and intellect. We don't have that. So you can see it looks like the ones we don't have are not selectable, but we could be fearless, and we could be iron-willed or talented. What does talented do? So fearless gives us plus 10 bravery, and then iron-willed gives us plus 7 discipline, 3 discipline P, discipline C. I don't know the difference. And then bravery. And then talented gives us just general perks across the board. Let's go with talented. That feels like that would be useful. You can see down here you've got sword, shield, javelin, and discipline skills. And it changes based on what we select. So our sword, all of our potential skills go up, as well as our current skills down here. All right. You must select the path that led you to become a centurion. Are we a direct commission? You've been directly commissioned as a centurion, following in the footsteps of your father, a centurion himself. Maybe our father was a character from the first game? No, I think the gap would be too great for that, actually. But anyway, direct commission or promoted from the ranks. So promoted from the ranks isn't even an option for us. We don't have high enough mental attributes. So I suppose direct commission, following in the footsteps of our father, a centurion himself. You have always shown promise as far as combat skills are concerned and have long been prepared to take on this career path. Okay. What is our individual name? The one you're given by your parents, name of your genes, your group, family, sharing common ancestry. Her first name, historical. Second name, gamer. Third name, butcher. Your option is, in several respects, your second in command. Within the century in battle, the Opto is positioned at the rear where he's responsible for maintaining discipline. Please select one of these candidates below. So I guess he's our second in command. Tiberius Ancus, Paulus Spurius, and Gaius Digitus. If he's not in the front ranks, I don't know that the javelin matters as much. Discipline seems important, though. Charisma, I would also think, is important. I think Gaius looks like the best option. Alright, a century is a unit commanded by a centurion. As part of a freshly raised legion, your century is very close to its nominal strength of 80 men. 6 centuries form a cohort, the basic tactical unit of the Roman army. 10 cohorts form a legion. Armies are usually composed of several legions, depending on the scope and importance of the campaign. So we are the 10th cohort, 11th legion. Currently, we've got 74 out of 80 potential soldiers. I'm assuming that number will drop as combat occurs. Average stats, 50 across the board pretty much. Average skills for our soldiers. You'll remain with your century for a very long time, but not through your whole career. It is not uncommon for centuries to be eventually transferred to different legions. Okay. All right. Few stats for gamers. So we can see here the different stats for the whole unit, for our second in command, and for us. There is not a single power left in the whole great sea that could contest Rome's hegemony. Several generations have passed since the days of Hannibal's war, that was the last game, a conflict so total and dreadful as to eclipse any slaughter of the past. Carthage itself was destroyed decades later, almost a century ago. In the years between, the Kingdom of Macedonia and the Seleucid Empire, two of the most prominent descendants of Alexander's conquests, have been vanquished. In many respects, Rome had never been so strong, and yet internally the Republic began to show the first cracks. The victories brought prosperity, but wealth is increasingly concentrated in the hands of the few. The traditional levy army that had won so many victories became less and less sustainable. Citizens had to meet minimum property requirements to serve in the legions and provide their own equipment. But to serve in a distant province meant being away from home for years and to let one's land to ruin. Many farmers came back poor from service, and to aggravate their detrimental imbalance, they had little choice but to sell to the large landowners. Their impoverishment also meant that less manpower would be available to feed the ravenous military needs of Rome. There were political attempts to address the situation, but they met the opposition of the senatorial class and came to nothing. Sometimes they even ended in violence. All right, the next 5 minutes are mostly just me reading here from what I recorded, so I'm going to jump ahead. I'm thinking maybe we'll do a live stream tomorrow or tonight, Sunday night, if I'm up to it, if I've got the energy levels. But for the sake of this first look, you don't need to listen to me read for a 5-minute segment. So we're going to jump ahead here a bit. But this is really good flavor text that tells you a lot about what's going on, sets the stage really well, and I think it makes for a good playing experience, but maybe less of a good viewing experience, which is why we're going to jump ahead a bit. A fair bit of reading, if you're not into that. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's I think that does a good job, especially if you're not super familiar with Rome and not terribly familiar with Caesar's campaigns. I think it's a good high-level overview. I will say one thing that definitely appears to be different between this version and this game and a legionary's life, and in a legionary's life, you were primarily an individual soldier going through the campaigns of the Second Punic War. At least the first 2 campaigns, you really weren't commanding a large body of troops. This game, you start off commanding a large body of soldiers, 80 men. So you're up the chain of command. It's a different sort of responsibility, And presumably you're not just training yourself to get your own skills better, you're going to have to train your soldiers as well. So you can see here we're in the camp phase of the game. You'll organize training activities and take care of other tasks when time runs out of the main event. Will follow usually a battle. You won't be able to proceed to the next turn until you've assigned all the mandatory training points to yourself and your century. You can do so in the training section. Okay, so we've got this little graphic here of the troops in their camp. It almost looks like Noah's Ark, without this, you know, I don't know. It looks like a ship a little bit, the angular or whatever. But you've got this little diagram here. You can see here administration is 0. Okay, so basically everything is neutral here, no better, no worse. Supervision, administration, education, and other duties. We've got training, inventory, trade, and summaries down here on the bottom left. Summary just shows the strength, constitution, endurance, quickness, all these attributes for us. They also show our sword skills. They show our morale, and then they show fatigue, and then our, you know, the impact of morale of other things. You can see our rank is Hastius Posterior. We're down here. I'm assuming as you can get promoted, I would guess, higher up. Our yearly wage is 4,500, fixed costs are 300, additional costs 0, net pay 4,200. It's paid in 3 installments. And then you've got our centuries stats over here. You've got the people, and you've got an overview. Okay. Gaius Digitus. No decorations yet. So we're not ready to appoint staff. So you can appoint a staff. This is neat. You can like appoint your own staff. You've got notable individuals who can rise up under you. You've got our sort of second commander Optio, who we've already talked about. You've got a valor score for your unit. And then you've got a ability to see notable individuals who have fallen in battle. That's all really neat. That adds a very different layer than existed in a legionary's life. Inventory. You can see here we have, what, 300 coins? We have a legionary helmet, basic armor, mail armor, greaves, shield, Hispania sword, and a centurion's crest. In theory, I think we can buy... You can have a stash, and I think you can also buy more stuff. So our soldiers, guys, Digitus doesn't have the shield, the shin guards or whatever, the greaves. We do. But nothing in the stash there. I don't see any option to buy. I guess trade would be where you'd buy that stuff, right? So we could add greaves. We only have 300 coins, though, right now, so probably not. Ooh, you can buy slaves. Interesting. To help you with mundane tasks. You can buy luxury goods to improve your morale to the detriment of your discipline. You can buy interesting pieces of art to improve morale. I don't have enough money, so... Oh, I've got to have a positive humanitas level to buy art. And then camp followers in nearby towns provide plenty of opportunities to have a good time. Do you want to spend? Okay, so we can increase our morale by go to nearby towns to have a good time. I don't know if that means brothels or what. Pay for the whole unit to go to the brothel. I don't have enough money to do any of that right now. Yeah, I doubt even... I don't have enough money to do anything. So not enough money to do inventory, anything with trade. We already looked at the summaries. So let's go to training and see what we've got. Turn 1 of 10. So in this section, you can assign training points to various activities. You can also move your century's training selection. You may hover over the cursor window, various elements, more specific information. Okay. Okay, so we don't want to skip the paperwork. Points available, so these are all mandatory points. And then respite and extra. Okay. What's this again? Mandatory? So you have to spend a certain number of points. And then you could spend extra stuff instead of resting, I guess. Okay. Probably don't want to have my administration score drop. Do we just do even across the board? So if I do respite, I won't lose any strain. But right now I have no strain, so there's no fear of losing that. And if we spend the extra points, it influences our ability to train our troops. I don't really care as much about the javelin, so let's drop that. And then work on coordination and quickness. What does this mean? Share hardships. Temporary allowance or privileges to share the hardships of your troops. Okay. So that, whatever. All right, let's drop the... What does supervision do? Let's drop the strength and constitution by 1. Allows us to keep some of the respite points. Oh, I still need to... Oh, wait, no, here. So the centurion still trains separate. They have a separate stat of points. What are other duties for them? Okay. Artillery? Sure, frequent artillery. Alright, we're going to cut the javelin training to a minimum because I don't know that I really care about that as much. I think the sword fighting and shield fighting is more important. Drill for discipline is also important. So let's leave... We'll do frequent artillery, I guess. Is there a cost here? Okay. Let's do sporadic artillery then. And... Alright. So I think this is what we'll do our setup as. Does the respite matter as much? I don't get as much strain and I lose some morale benefits, but... So if I do 2, I don't get the full benefit of education because my workload's maxed. Okay. We'll do 1 for javelin and we'll leave the rest here. Okay. I don't think there's specializations. Are there? Oh, there are specializations. So... Guys, I'd rather you be charismatic, but none of those are options. Okay. So I think that's all of our points allocated. Everything I want to spend anyway. Okay, so the following stats have changed. My endurance went up 1, my morale went down 1. The century, meanwhile, gained 1 strength, 1 constitution, 1 endurance, 1 quickness, 4 artillery, 5 discipline, 3 javelin, 4 shield, 3 sword. Our second in command gained 1 endurance, and I received my regular pay of 1,400 Sestari. So we're on turn 2 of 10, and at the end of 10, I'm assuming, is when we end up having the next stuff happen. Other duties dropped to -5, so we want to fix that. Supervision is +5 from base. Administration is 0, so probably go back in here. And it looks like it saves the stuff here, so we need to do other duties. Let's increase that so we can tweak this stuff. And it's actually pretty nice that it saves your stats here, so then I don't have to worry as much about this. So what did we have surplus of? Supervision? Maybe we can drop that by 1. And other duties, we need to increase that slightly. We'll see if that gets us back into the good graces there. My own traits, we can drop the javelin by 1. Curious if I do double the administration, what'll happen here. I've got the points to do it, because it costs 2 to go up to the next level. And then, since morale dropped a little bit, can we... I've got 1,700 gold. That's not enough to bring my crew in to get my own morale better. I'll go into town, get my own morale to have a nice little bonus there. Sorry for not being one of the men of the people. Buy Greaves for my second command. Why are these -1? Alright, so these are slightly inferior, I guess. Why won't let me buy them? Yeah, okay. Alright, so I've got Greaves in my stash. Can I go to... I don't need them from me, but Gaius does. Can I give them to him? Oh, I wanted to give them to him. I guess I can't do that. That's unfortunate. I got slightly better ones. Okay. Spent a lot of money to get slightly better ones. Alright. Let's see if the tweaks we made affect our other duties, if they get any better. Not really, they stayed the same. Supervision dropped from +5 to 0. Administration went up +10. I've been sleeping badly, so my strain went up. I get 1 strength, 1 constitution, quickness, and coordination. The sentry gets endurance, coordination, 4 sword, 4 shield, 3 javelin, 4 discipline, 3 artillery, 1 engineering. Guys gets several of these things. Alright, so I am suffering from a little bit of strain, I guess. +10. Or I will be. So, I didn't get paid this turn. So let's see here. Let's drop the administration, I think. Administration's +5, but I don't really want to continue to pay for that. And then we lost supervision of +5, so can I get that back up? Other duties, are they still -5 for the rest of the unit? Yeah, I don't want them to be negative. I don't want Caesar to think my command is slacking. What are the traits here for the whole unit? If we go back to summaries and we go to the sentry, they're sword is at 15. That is not good. They're very much... They need work with their weapons, guys. Engineering is actually okay. Maybe we drop endurance and awareness training. Okay. Come on, boys. Get better with your other duties. And then what was I going to change anything with me? I think we already made those changes. I can do one more for the respite. I can spend one more point. I guess we'll do it on... Constitution. Pending event must be dealt with. What's this? What's this event? A legionary discreetly offers you 50 sestertii if you let him dodge the most menial and strenuous duties for a year. No, but I'm not going to punish you. For the first time anyway, I'm not going to punish you, but I'm not going to let you avoid... I'm not taking bribes. So we're not going to create that corruption, but I'll be like, all right, come on, dude. You know, that coach where you're like... You're complaining to the coach about training and then he just gives you the side eye and ignores you. We'll do that. Integrity plus 60 AP. Did it affect anybody else's stats? Probably doesn't look like it. Okay. And actually, before we end that turn, let's go to trade. Or no, we don't have any more money, so we'll just next turn. Right, morale's dropped 1. Strength, constitution, endurance, quickness, coordination, humanitas goes up 1. Other duties have gotten back to 0, so that's good. Administration and supervision are both sitting at +5. So they haven't changed. Education made some progress, and other duties, again, back to 0. So... I guess we don't need to change anything this turn. Other duties are now +5. Supervision's +10, and administration is +5. So we're gaining on supervision. How's my fatigue going here? Workload side effects. So I got a little bit of buffer I could spend. Also... Troop opinion gains 3 AP for each turn. If we go to summaries, how do the troops view me? Does it tell me? Reputation. Humanist level 1. Integrity level 1. Caesar doesn't know who I am, probably. Okay. Oh, I lose opinion because I've got a humanitas level 1. They don't like book learning soldiers. Okay. Keeps track of the number of kills you have. Maybe I get AP integrity for the sharing of hardships. Morale has taken a little bit of a downward trend, unfortunately, because we keep kind of maxing out our training. What's this event? This morning, your sentry is taking part in a mock battle. Lined up with the rest of the cohort, armed with buttoned swords and javelins, the men wait in silence for the starting signal. The tribunes are watching. First part of the exercise involves basic maneuvers. When a response contains a check, you can hover the cursor over it for more details, including abilities. Okay, so this is like where the RNG stuff based on your training and your stats are influenced here. Advance and maintain formation. Success. Requirement of 19. We had enough, I guess. Ability 20, I guess. The sentry keeps up with the rest of the cohort without too much confusion. Good enough for raw recruits. Okay. It's time to hurl the javelins. Ooh, our javelin skills are not good. Attempt a single well-coordinated volley. Let each soldier throw independently. Not as effective, but easier to execute. I don't really see a big difference between the difficulty. It's slightly higher on a well-coordinated volley. But our javelin skill's the worst, so let's just let each soldier throw independently and see what happened. It still failed. Our ability was 14. We needed 15, so Caesar's opinion of us drops. Close and engage the adversary in hand-to-hand combat. Success. The enemy formation is a detachment of the 9th. Under normal conditions, your men would be no match for them, but they have been instructed to go easy on the new recruits. Okay. So at least our close combat ability was sufficient, barely. What is our sentry's stat here? Okay. Sword is better than shield, but gotcha. The men have shown some shortcomings during the drill. Perhaps you should address them before they have to face real danger. So maybe we need to improve our javelin skills? I don't know. But if we go to summaries here now, we go to reputation. Caesar's opinion is a -1. So he doesn't love us. Let's go adjust our training slightly. Other duties. Okay. Caesar opinion points with a ratio of 2 to 1. 4 to 1 if positive. Okay, so it is positive right now anyway. There you go, boys. Improve your javelin skills now. Can they pay me again? That'd be great. You've lost a bet with one of your fellow centurions. Lose 20 sestari. Morale drop by 2. So other duties 10. Supervision's 20. I don't think there's anything I can do with my staff, right? Yeah, not yet. Okay. Our sword stats are best. Let's try this. I don't know what drill does here. When skill is 32 or more levels below its potential, they get a big training bonus. I don't know what this will do, but let's try and max discipline here. I just want to see what drill. I just want to see what happens. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't really know that it made much of a difference there. Ooh, we can appoint a new staff member, huh? All right, let's go back and adjust that. So sentry, drill, you're going to drop down to 2. Alright, we'll do sword a bit higher, shield a bit higher. So we may not do as well when it comes to javelin throwing, but I think when we get to close quarters combat, I'm hoping that we're okay. Meanwhile, my own personal traits. Let's drop the sword. And increase administration. Okay. What's this? We can appoint a new signifier or tesserus. Standard bearer of the century. In battle, the signifier stands close to the first line and holds a small round shield. Okay. Melee skills and bravery are very important. Select the best ability of this character. Melee skills. Three superior abilities for the character. Strength, Constitution, Shield. 4 better than average abilities. The worst. I would think Javelin is the least important. Do I want to ask my Opto for my advice? If you do, you'll receive a temporary bonus to your supervision score. No. So we just generated a new person, I guess. Tiberius Enos. And then we also need to appoint a tesserus. What's this? Good discipline, intellect ought to be at least above average. Charisma and awareness are important too. The guard of the commander of the century. Okay. So, discipline, intellect, charisma, and awareness. Discipline. Intellect. Charisma. And awareness. Okay. I suspect Javelin is less important for this person too. So we're generating these new characters based on sort of things we pull out. There's no notable individuals under my command yet. Can they pay me again? I don't even know if we're doing well yet, but we'll find out soon enough. Okay. Everybody's going in rested, though, so that should at least be positive. I don't have any more money yet, right? Yeah, no. Maybe we should... Actually, because our morale has taken some hits. I don't think our men has, but ours has. So let's do this. Alright. Morale came up a little bit. Last turn. I don't think I'm gonna trade anything. I think we'll just go back to the brothels, get that morale back. Our education did not quite get to the level 1 before we ran out of time. Nothing to do inventory-wise, just time to go in and fight. So camp activities, consequences, Caesar's opinion +2 based on our administration skill. And then our other duties also got us a +2. So Caesar's overall opinion for us should increase to 3, I think. Oh, -1 still? I thought it was positive now. Anyway. Troubles brewing in the west. On a plateau beyond the northern Alps live the Helvetii, a Gallic people of one of the strongest. The harsh Jura mountains separate them from most of the other Gauls, and the river Rhine from the Germanic peoples. They've decided to make your time more interesting by abandoning their land and moving into the vast fertile plains between the Rhone and the Garonne, part of the large independent region that your people call Gallia. On top of that, they have convinced several neighboring tribes to join them on their venture. Of the two routes available, the easier it by far passes right through Gallia, Transalpina, a Roman province, and one under the responsibility of the new proconsul. Caesar has just arrived from there, where he met with the ambassador of the Helvetii. They asked for free passage, but despite their reassurances they would not cause damage, Caesar stalled and then denied their request. The region suffered an uprising only a few years ago, and although the situation is under control now, the passage of the Helvetii could spark a disaster. To complicate matters, there's only one legion stationed in Gallia Transalpina. The rest, including yours, are wintering near Aquileia, hundreds of miles to the east of the crisis. When the talks were still underway, Caesar ordered the destruction of the bridge at Geneva, the city closest to the Helvetii, and building a ditch and earthwork wall. A single legion has no hope to stop the Helvetii in a pitched battle, but with the help of these obstacles, their passage could be impeded. After unfruitfully probing the defenses, the moving host had no choice but to opt for the other, more difficult road, passing between the Jura and the river Rhone. On the surface, this should have been settled things, but such situations are never so simple. If there was uncertainty about the Helvetii's unfriendliness before, they will surely be hostile from now on, after what transpired at the border. If they reach their destination, they will be a powerful enemy occupying the plains to the north of a province that already lives in a precarious balance. It is easy to guess what happens next. Caesar is here, at Aquileia, to take command of his remaining 5 legions, cross the Alps again, and intercept the Helvetii before they can complete their plan. Their new route will take them through the territory of the Sequani, another of the numerous independent Gallic tribes, that live to the north of the lands controlled by Rome. They will have to negotiate their passage. At least, this will buy you some time. Your soldiers nervously prepare to leave camp under your supervision. They weren't expecting to go on campaigning so soon after joining the army. Their orders are to travel light and march as quickly as possible. As Aquileia slowly disappears into the horizon, you silently meditate on what is waiting at the end of the long road ahead of you. Okay. You can press Control at any time to show the available hotkeys. Okay. Summaries. We can see here all of our current stats. My own character is 64 strength, 60 constitution, 66 endurance, I think. Is the red the current and the red, is that the potential, or is this the bit? I'm a little confused. I think the parentheses are the current based on modifiers we have, I think. It's not totally clear. Century. Okay. All right. Inventory, there's nothing really to look at right now. So let's just continue. The crossing of the Po Valley is fast and easy, but now you've reached the Alps. Barbarian tribes with no liking for Roman trespassers live here, and will do their best to make your trip as memorable as possible. You've had to build a fortified camp to spend the night. Your sentry is made of young, inexperienced soldiers, and although not much is expected of them, they'll have to do their part. All right, so this is turn 1 of 20. Your sentry is assigned simple tasks during the construction of the camp. So we're currently at 1 of 20. You can see here our traits up here: engineering, discipline, intellect, endurance, strength, morale, and fatigue. We have no fatigue. Okay. Green slice corresponds to the standard procedure expected at the end of this turn. The bonus production is brown here. Only applies if engineering roll against a difficulty of 50 succeeds. At the work is not completed before the end of the last turn, you'll suffer a penalty for Caesar's opinion. So this game is different in that it is very focused on your commander's, your senior commander's opinion of you. Okay. Okay. So if you get it done early, you get a bonus. If you get it done in time, you get no bonus. If you don't get it done, you get a penalty. Generates superior quality according to your standard procedure capacity. However, normal production is heavily reduced, even more so if engineering is low. Whoa. Well, our engineering must be low. So, I wish there was a percentage here rather than just a graph. So, we don't have a good enough engineering stat for this to be superior quality, so that's obviously a no-go. But we could push our men extra hard to make it happen more quickly. We've got 20 turns to get it done. So let's just try to work faster initially. Production bonus roll 20 minus 28 versus 48. Troops opinions -8. So we just got the standard roll. It looks like we didn't get the bonus. Where does it tell you your troops' opinion of you? So, okay. We won't push him to work faster now. Superior quality. My troops are really going to hate me after all this. I haven't really done much that'll make them mad at me to this point in the game, though. So we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 15 troop opinions against us. We're definitely going to get it done. Let's try for superior quality now. We'll take time penalties, but I think we've got 4 turns available, so let's do superior quality. Two of them. Do we have to get all the way to the top? Yeah. So we'll get it done right on time, and we'll have done like 3 superior qualities. So we'll see how that impacts anything. Work completed. Superior quality bonus plus 9 APs. Potential engineering has increased. Okay. Keep an eye on your formation imbalance during battles. Interesting. So how do my people feel about me now? Troops opinion. Level 1? I don't think it got much worse. I don't think those APs... I mean, they definitely don't hate me. So those penalties weren't too harsh. Crossing goes on. These mountain roads are treacherous, and the local centurions never miss an opportunity to harass you. Several time units from the 3 more experienced legions have to engage them to fend off an ambush or to repel attempts to block your path. This afternoon, you're accompanied your sentry to collect wood. Your perimeter is surrounded by elements of the 7th who are performing the same task. You're approaching a lazy recruit when suddenly you're interrupted by a cry of alarm to your left. You're under attack. Your men are too inexperienced to throw into the fray. They should form for battle, but stay back in reserve where it is safer. Remain with your troops at the back. Let the soldiers of the 7th deal with the ambush. Tell your opto to stay with the recruits while you go alone to help to the front line. Leaving my troops sounds like a bad idea. But I want to fight. So let's do that. You grab a javelin and move toward the clash. Amidst the chaos, a warrior armed with a wooden club looks straight at you and shouts something. Okay. Chuck a javelin at him. You miss by far. My troops' opinion of me drops. Okay. So this is where you get into the combat of the game. You can see here the health of my character is 120 out of 120. The enemy's at 102 out of 102. Their stance 100 out of 100. That's like coordination and stuff, or fatigue or whatever. Or no, that's like endurance, I think. You can get different focuses and traits from your weapons. Regular, careful, forceful, rapid. I'm not fast, so we'll just do a regular and close in. Round 1 of potentially 20. There's 3 key stats in combat beside abilities and morale, health, stance, and fatigue. Your max health is equal to your constitution times 2. If it drops to 0, you're dead. Max stance is 100 for everybody. If it falls below its fill value, you're more open to attack. Fatigue starts having detrimental effect only when it reaches the limit shown next to its current value. So 116. Okay. The acting order is determined by the fighters. Quickness in case of a tie. Their coordination is useful. Okay. Current speed factor. Normally fighters can perform 2 actions per round. However, this can be affected by their speed factor. If a fighter's speed factor reaches a value of 500, an additional action is granted. If it drops to negative 500, they lose an action. Okay, he starts at negative 4. I start at 13. Yep, we looked at attitude already. Okay, let's just fight. Let's see what happens here. Centurion warrior spends 2 action points and adds 14 defense until his next turn. Okay. So we can do a defensive focus, offensive focus, strike, soft spot, feint, or shield. High knock. Failed. Okay, I tried to bash him with my shield, but I fail. I lose 20 of my coordination or stance. Okay. Should we try another shield bash? Let's just try a straight knock. Another fail. Fuck. He tried to bash me with his shield and failed. Oh, he got to move twice. I'm thrown off balance. Shoot. Alright. Let's try and recover. We recovered once and failed once. He grazed me. 1 damage inflicted. Okay. So I'm at 119 out of 120. My speed is at negative 417. Okay, I recovered 17 stance. Let's try and recover again. Again, we succeed. We're up to 70. His attack failed. And we defended it. Okay. So we only get 1 action per round because we went over the negative 500 speed factor. I'll get a defensive bonus. So he did not hurt me there. His fatigue is at 31. I'm at 24. I'm back to 2 remaining actions. I failed with my offensive focus, which probably leaves me open to an attack. Although we defended it. Let's try and attack and go with a torso attack. Okay. Try and recover. Succeed. Up to 87 stance. I think that lessens the likelihood that he succeeds. Let's do a torso attack modifier plus 8. If we try and go for a soft spot attack. Got him. You can see the stats up here on the right. His health took a pretty big hit from that. Now if we go for it again, different parts of the body are different levels of seriousness. So, you know, obviously you go for the head. That's more deadly than the torso. Let's try the head. Hard pressed. Okay, so the attack failed for him. Plus 11 modifier for the groin on a strike. Defended. Let's try for the leg. Defended. We spent a lot of our coordination on that. So this is up to 20 rounds. So you can see this is 9 of 20. I would assume like heads will roll, a shield bash could be very effective. So I do think that was kind of the right way to start out. But you got to manage your fatigue and your stance as well in this, because that all has a big role in how effective your fighting will be. And you've got a bunch of different modifiers that run throughout. Alright, so we hit him, but he resisted it. He had 2 recoveries, so his stance is back up to 100. So is mine. I defended against his attack on my groin. He did something else that failed there. What's this? He is fatigued, so he's at 85 out of 164. He is slightly fatigued. What if we intimidate him? Ah! I intimidate you! The fighter has been intimidated. Go for his torso. Damn it. Okay. Plus 19 for the head. Let's try. Headshot! Alright, so he's down to 44 health. Let's do another one. Plus 40. That seems like a pretty good modifier. Got him again! He's almost dead. Down to 10 health. try and finish him with a torso. Got him. He's dead. Okay, so we get a kill. And performance crushing victory, plus 1,034. Very little damage to our health, only 1. Combativeness plus 5, valor plus 15. My centurion's combativeness went down 5. Oh, this was the guy we were fighting. Never mind. Centronius warrior. Crushing defeat. All right, so that's our first kill. 2 more enemies are approaching. You're too vulnerable here in the open. Join a nearby line of legionaries. So we could have kept fighting and the battle probably would have continued, but instead reinforcements come up and the ambushers are quickly dispersed. It might be tempting to use your very aggressive commitment in battle, but it will expose you to more danger and you will get tired faster. Okay. So if we go to summaries, and we go to reputation, troops' opinion is not any better. Our integrity is still the same. Valor is 1. We have killed 1 enemy warrior. Doesn't really factor in this in the grand scheme of things, but maybe it helped some of my traits a little bit. With so little training, the journey through the Alps is being especially demanding to your soldiers. Okay. I failed. Their morale dropped. Okay. So presumably we're going to get a battle against the Helvetii here soon. I don't have good engineers, so can't trust them yet. "15 days, you follow them a reasonable distance." So they're supposed to supply us with grain, some of these people, but for whatever reason they're delaying. They're obviously not trying to help us. Now the Helvetii are pursuing us, I guess. Okay. All right. The sky is darkening. It's getting cold when you spot a disarrayed group of spearmen approaching. The light is not ideal, but they do not look like battle-hardened veterans. They carry small shields. Okay, so there's a disorganized, scattered group of enemy soldiers that are stumbling toward us from a battle that we observed. That's what all that text was about. Do you want to ask for God's favor in the impending battle? How much does it cost? I don't have enough money for a sacrifice. I can do a cheap sacrifice. Sure. Okay. Our cohesion's 2,000. The enemy's 1,500. Cohesion of your enemy must be 1,200 or less at the end of the battle. So this is a very different looking screen. Our determination's 138. The enemy's 100. We've got an advantage there. Cohesion is important, apparently. And then the value of front. Okay. So again, this is a game about... The previous fight was very much like what a legionary's life was like. But this is very much, you know, a unit commander game. Before the hand-to-hand combat phase of a battle begins, your formation and the enemy will exchange a hail of missiles. Okay. If the enemy's throws successful, individual characters can perform exceptional throws worth a small valor bonus. Okay. I would say throw normally. I just don't think our javelin skill is good enough. Maybe it is. I failed! Darn. They failed too. Their attack fails also, however. Everybody's failing. So my missile attack failed when I threw an advance at my men. My men's missile attack failed. And the Helvetian light infantry's missile attack failed. Okay. Several melee phases. Cohesion. A lot of good information here, but we've been going for about an hour and 10, so we're just going to try and jump through and fight. Alright, so we can do a commitment, steadfast, very cautious, or all out. Let's do all out, or we can do fierce or cautious. Let's do all out. Our cohesion is better than theirs. Our strength is better than theirs. Their fatigue is higher than ours. Let's just charge in, boys. And we fail. We fail to gain the initiative. Okay. They gain momentum success. Failure. Failure. They inflict 4 damage. My sentry is plus 20 determination. Theirs is negative 20. Okay, they try again and fail. So I can change these commitments here. So if we change our commitment too dramatically, it can cause confusion, or you could rout your own troops. So if you go like, hey boys, pulled up here, you get cautious, and that can hurt you as well. I will be the spearhead of the force. So continue the all out. We fail to gain momentum. We suffer damage for employing a spearhead. Okay. What's this imbalance? I was hoping we just crush these guys, but they've had some successes. We've had none. Doesn't look like I can even adjust my formation at this point. Okay. So we're going to have an individual conflict, I believe, here. Alright, we need to pull our troops back. The imbalance is getting pretty big. So let's pull the commitment back to fierce. We're suffering an imbalance penalty, but I'm hoping to pull them back slowly to regain some cohesion here. The enemy, meanwhile, they have an imbalance and they're tired. So we gain momentum, but then fail. So one of the 3 rolls there we succeeded. Okay, they succeeded in 2 out of 3 there. Threat. Okay. Individual conflicts. Both sides have considerable imbalances here. Alright, our front strength is down to 354. It's actually weaker than theirs. Our second strength value is higher still. Our cohesion is higher still. Okay. Polissos is involved in a brief fight. So this is my second in command. He's tired. Do I control him in this fight? Or is this simulated? It looks like it's simulated. It's only a 5-round fight, so very much brief. Oh no, it looks like I do get to tell him what to do. Okay. He is... They're both... The enemy is more fatigued. The enemy has more lingering fatigue. Okay. All these values are very poor. All these modifiers are very poor. We'll rebound focus and see what happens. Defensive focus. Alright, we'll shift to an offensive focus. Can we... Our modifiers are not much better. Let's try and intimidate the enemy. I don't know how... That didn't matter, it failed. God, these stats are so bad. Of course it failed. I mean, my dude isn't hurt at all. It's just been a completely ineffective fight. Yeah, none of this stuff is... Alright, throw a Hail Mary on the last round here. Might have succeeded, but it was defended. So Solus had a modest defeat, didn't take any damage, but... This is not a good fight. We're getting pushed back here, I think. So my first fight as a commander here is not going well. Just took a casualty. Tiberius Enos is involved in a fight. The enemy is at least tired. Okay. These modifiers are bad. Pray for a hit. Okay. Defended. Alright, so he recovered some. Try a shield knock. Failed. Alright, try to recover. Alright. I'm just going aggressive, rapid strikes, just trying to see what we can do. Maybe we can get a lucky roll. Maybe we can feint him? No. Alright, he shield knocked me. But I resisted. We'll try to recover. Just praying for a lucky strike. Alright, recover. I don't want to get Tiberius killed. Marginal defeat, so it did a little bit better than last time. Fight me, you cowards! Alright, let's pull back a bit. Okay, our cohesion is failing. I think we're about to have a disengagement. Yep. So that was a very disappointing fight. We really were incompetently led by yours truly. Okay. Can we try and fight him one more time? We've pulled back, sort of regained our cohesion. Or now we're trying to push back into them again. We still have a slight cohesion advantage against them. We did some damage to them, I think. We even got a threat roll. That's the first one we've had of that. We've got +4 on the imbalance. They're at -4. Okay. imbalance is starting to pull, is getting out of hand. I think ours is too. It's red up here. Okay. Their cohesion has fallen by a little bit. I'm involved in a brief fight. My fatigue is pretty damn high up here. Charge! Okay. I've only got a negative 11 torso strike. Do straight knock. Hit. Yes! We knocked him. Okay. Give me a torso strike. Grazed. Very minor hit, but... his recovery failed. Let's hit him torso again. Grazed again. Keep attacking. Hard pressed. So I think he only gets one action. He managed to recover a bit. Go for his arm. Defended. Back for his torso. Hard pressed. I think we have the initiative here. Our fatigue is real high, so that's kind of a problem. It's going to take a lot of out of our attacks. But he's basically on the defensive here, trying to recover his stance. Grazed. Defended. So, clear victory for us. We didn't kill him, but clear victory. So, that damage to formation 8, valor +1, combativeness +3. Maybe that'll help turn the tide for the battle for us. So now I'm going to try and push my boys back in. Their imbalance is a little bit high. Ugh. Okay. The imbalance thing is what's... my formation is basically out of balance, which is not good from a cohesion and fighting effectiveness point of view. Alright guys, and this fighting will continue for another 20 minutes or so. There's a bit of a drag in this fight. I think the command phase where you kind of need your legion or your company or whatever, your century, to push forward, to win on cohesion. We got to get their cohesion below 1200, then they'll break. Obviously, we're fighting in an imbalanced trait. This is very much me, first look, first learning how to fight. So I really don't do a good job of exploiting the mechanics of the game here. But, like, I'm clearly not doing well. The enemy's gaining the edge. Units are getting more fatigued. Casualties are being taken. Morale is falling. Their morale is starting to come up. But like, it's an interesting combat mechanic. I'm curious how they touch it up after the demo, because it does feel like it's a little bit maybe longer than it should be. But that could also be through my own, continuing to fight and incompetence, if you will. I'm gonna stop this here. We don't need to watch another 20 minutes of this. But basically, this is the command version. We saw the individual combat before. I'd like to see more of this. Maybe we'll stream the demo tonight. Let me know your guys' thoughts. But I think we'll wrap it up here, and that's Never Second in Rome, the upcoming game by the developer of A Legionary's Life, the sequel to that game, and we'll see how things progress. Let me know if you want to see more of this. I think it's a very interesting look. I think this combat screen is a lot more detailed. There's a lot more information here. Very board gamey with like die rolls and things like that, where it shows you the math going on behind the scenes, which means it's easy to not have a clue what's going on, but it's also good for folks who are into those kind of nitty-gritty details who want to follow it. That being said, guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your thoughts below, and until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.